So security is becoming one of the biggest concerns when I talk with companies, right? They have sensitive employee information. They have sensitive client information. From an employee perspective, you have social security numbers, you have addresses, you have bank account information. From a client perspective, you have a lot of sensitive information, especially if you're in like healthcare, government, things like that. The amount of regulation you have on your data is absolutely mind-boggling. And a lot of companies aren't aware that they're putting themselves at risk. For example, if you're not sure how secure your IT environment is, if you haven't had an outside third-party vendor actually test your environment to understand if your passwords are compromised, how good your firewalls are, what's the state of your servers, do you even have the hardware and equipment that's up to date, then you're actually exposing yourself. Right? And you're like, okay, Chris, so what? It's not going to happen to me, right? Well, here's the thing. Ransomware, meaning someone hacks into your systems, locks them up, and says, you got to pay me $1 million or else I'm not going to give you the keys to the kingdom. That's on the rise. And guess what? You're the easiest target. It's not the big companies. They're spending millions, billions on that. It's the smaller companies. Again, you're easy targets because you're not paying attention to this. Or maybe you just don't know about it, or you don't know where to start, right? So instead of just waiting and hoping nothing happens, why don't you be proactive? There's a lot of companies out there that offer just a free assessment of your IT infrastructure. Who? Haha, me! Right. Here's the fun thing though. A lot of companies charge for it. I don't. I could charge you like 10 grand for the assessment. It's really expensive. It's a crazy expensive tool on our end, so it's a sunk cost on us. Here's why we don't charge, or here's why I don't charge you for it. Because I value building a long-term, mutually beneficial relationship. And it doesn't feel good for me to go charge you just to even see if it makes sense to have a conversation. Because that's what happens. Do an assessment, we sit there and talk, and we see what comes up. If everything's all green and you're amazing, then you got peace of mind. Cheers, you can sleep better at night. Let's be honest, most of the time, there's going to be some issues because you probably haven't looked at it in a holistic perspective. So before you become a victim of ransomware, viruses, malware, you name it, or your system just crabs out because you had no idea that server was at the end of life and you just added a little more data to it and it fried it, or your electrical just wasn't set up correctly, or the Wi-Fi's down again and everyone's pissed off and you can't work, or, there's a lot of other ors, right? You get my point. So what my ask is please be proactive in understanding your IT environment. We're becoming more digital. This is becoming critical to your company's success. And if you don't understand where you stand today, then you cannot be prepared to ensure your success in the future. And if you don't know where to start, I'm here to be a resource for you. And if you don't like me for whatever reason, I'll recommend some other people. It ain't personal. I want you to be successful. So this is me just bringing awareness to an area that you may not know about. So comment below on your thoughts. And if this is something you're interested in talking more about, well, I'm available, right? It's pretty easy to get a hold of me. So hopefully y'all found this valuable and I'll talk to you soon.